Uncontrollable nerves at the Aki. What do you do about it? Hi, I'm Jen Mounts, your resident head case. I've battled dartitis, otherwise known as the yips, and I still have residual performance anxiety, which has become clear to me as I've taken up throwing darts again. So join me as I analyze my latest cricket match, and I'll be sharing the 5 different ways I tackle the insane nerves I feel during competition, plus some cricket strategy questions that I want to pose. If you stick to the end, I have a huge bonus tip for you all that acts as a preventative tool to avoid extreme nerves ahead of time. All right, here we go. Mark was the host, so it was his option, and he decided to show me one. I've been feeling super confident in my bull hitting lately. Single bull. Okay. My going first streak is 4 for 4 right now. I started off terribly slow in leg 1, as I always do, because I get that typical physical response to anxiety where my hands kind of shake like so. They tremble for a while. So let's just jump into leg 1 a few rounds in. I do want to quickly specify that I'm a sober player. So honestly, my body's physical response to anxiety or nerves may never go away. 517. And this is why I believe it's key to develop healthy coping mechanisms, since the ever-popular alcohol is not an option for me. All right, coping mechanism number 1 for nerves is to slow down your breathing. I'm more conscious of the speed of which I'm breathing rather than how huge the breath is. 290. I'm just inhaling steadily and very, very slowly. I let the breaths get deeper a little later on. Naturally, this slows down my play at first, so I'm snail-paced in the beginning, then once I can feel my hand tremor steady, I pick up my natural rhythm. 417, 119. Coping mechanism number 2 for nerves is to focus on a checklist. I have an ever-developing checklist of things that would only be on my mind when I'm feeling extremely nervous. Otherwise, it could hinder your flow when you're feeling fine. 119. I tell myself as long as I checked every box, it's okay if I miss my target, because I did everything right, and the more I consistently throw in my mind correctly with gusto, I'll work through the nerves and become accurate again. 219. So my personal checklist is the following: sink into your heel, tip elevated, take back all the way, complete the follow-through while strongly directing the dart forward. Don't just let the dart fall out of your hand. 36. Final box on the checklist: do not judge what happened. No positive or negative emotion assigned. In summary, I focus on the process of throwing a single perfect dart repeatedly. I do not focus on the outcome of my throw. 316. Coping mechanism for nerves number 3. I like to visualize previous successes of mine. I try to bring the memories back to the present moment, remembering that I've hit round 9s. I've hit hat-tricks to close in cricket. I've come back on 15s, fighting for my life, hitting 5-mark, 7-mark 15s to dig myself out of holes. I've done it all before. This is yet another test of consistency and not doing the unimaginable. 515. Coping mechanism for nerves number 4. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? Hear me out. Sometimes intentionally thinking about the worst case scenario helps to put things into perspective when your nerves are crippling. 115. In cricket, the literal worst thing you can do is hit no marks that round. So I imagine doing exactly that and thinking, okay, it's a bagel. Am I gonna lose my house, my job? Of course not. Game shot. Good job. Thank you. Actually imagining your fears can help loosen their hold on you. So I stop and I think, okay, what if I walk up and I hit 1 mark this round? I know there's going to be so much game left. Cricket is an ebb and flow. And if I were to walk up and be perfect every time, I'd be professional. I'm obviously not. So why would I expect or pressure myself to be alongside the best men in this country? So that reality check of knowing, like if I hit nothing, no one's gonna die. It's a part of the game and why things average out in the end. Life will go on. So sometimes you have to go through that mental exercise first in order to play in the present moment, the now. All right, let's take a break from nerves for a second. I have a curious cricket strategy question for you folks. Should you hit bull early in a cricket game? In leg 2, after nailing a treble 17 to close another house and get the point lead, I found myself frustrated at how far I missed the 18, so I immediately switched to the bull. 317, 1 bull. I thought a single mark on bull would go further than a single 18 or 16 for myself. And the only pro to ever suggest randomly poking the bull to me was David Fadum like a decade ago. And honestly, I've loved it ever since. but mostly because I'm like obsessed with a bull. It's my favorite target. I just wonder if it even psychologically puts my opponent on tilt or not. Is it too risky to miss outside when ultimately a single 18 mark in that moment would at least have made it easier for me to close the 18 later? But I just had one of those moments, like I felt like doing it and I was so confident I'd hit it. It's moments like that that bring me true joy. Being kind of weird with strategy, it's just playful and fun, but it could be objectively not smart. Here's another weird cricket strategy I tried after that. So I'm behind in points, barely, and decide to open up 15 as a new house and potentially point on it at the same time if I can hit 4 marks or higher.
315.
But I failed here, only closing the house, being behind in points, but 7 marks ahead with my 19s and 17s closed and a single mark on bull there. I was avoiding closing 18 because it's my least favorite number. And I know, grow up, Jen, and work on it, but it made me comfortable to move around the board and close up extra houses and kind of force my opponent to stay on the 18 per point lead. I don't know. In my head, I think sometimes maybe them seeing me close up all these extra houses might panic them, but at the end of the day, it also might give them confidence knowing they have secured a bigger number to point on. I'm not sure. Can anyone relate to this? Am I just being a baby? Should I not be dicking around like that? Let me know what you think in the comments, and for now, let's see the end of this leg. Now, because I already marked a single bull early in the leg, I just needed 2 more marks, which helped me feel more confident to get the job done in one go.
Game shot.
Which really helped me in this instance.
Good game.
By the way, this is a best of 5 format, so I just need to win 1 more, and as this next leg plays out, I'll go over coping mechanism for nerves number 5, my single ladies strategy. Ever since I tried aiming at a large single pie rather than the treble 20 in my 501 league, my performance went up, nerves went down, and confidence skyrocketed.
320.
This is especially helpful in cricket. A lot of times just hitting the 3 clutch singles will make or break a leg. So when I'm ahead in the match, but still struggling with my hands shaking or nervousness, I often keep that lead by making sure to carefully close their houses with 3 singles at a time instead of risking missing the treble left and right and getting no marks. Going for 3 safe single 19s here allowed me to quickly gain control early on.
319.
Now, believe me when I say that these 5 methods are not ideal when you're just a normal player with pre-game jitters or butterflies. Like, that's all totally normal. So overthinking like this or pulling out all of these stops might just hinder your normal performance. I'm more talking about insane nerves that get out of control where I can't feel the dart in my hand or steady my hand at all to perform that simple action that we've done thousands of times. So the situation calls for extreme intervention, and that's the only scenario that I would say that this single lady strategy in particular is applicable throughout an entire leg of cricket. Otherwise, you never want to be doing that. You would get smashed at an elite level especially. So that's why I kind of rank this number 5 as a last resort thing to try, especially if you're competing at kind of a lower skill level like me. Okay, so let's watch the end of this match before our bonus information. I need 2 marks on bullseye to win the whole shebang and move on to top 64 in this L-Style sponsored Super Cup. You can't tell from this angle, but I'm blocked, so I scooch on over way to the left.
Game shot.
And success! Even when I'm nervous, I'm always stupidly confident in the bullseye. It's why I like soft tip 01 so much, where you throw at fat bull the whole time.
Yeah, good match, Mark. Thank you.
All right, you made it to the end, and I promised you a bonus tip. Something you'll want to do before your match, because I find it unhelpful in real time, is to treat the match or competition as training for the next thing. So I'm playing Remote Steel Tip League, right? And I started telling myself this entire league is just preparing me for the next league season. Takes a crazy amount of pressure off of you. I've only just started playing again. I am not going to be a superstar, nor do I deserve to be, because I haven't put in the work yet. Relinquishing that self-imposed pressure to be excellent out of nowhere the first time around will help tremendously to reframe your mind to not associate competition with fear. If you fear outcomes so badly that you face crippling anxiety, then your expectations of yourself are unrealistic. Trust me, I would know. For example, I'm so divorced from reality that I think if I don't hit a 5 mark or more the first half of the cricket leg, then I feel I've underperformed, which is absolutely insane, as the best of the best professional men in America are happy to average over 4 marks per round in cricket. This is based on the recent Las Vegas Open singles cricket event. Dart Connect averages, as you can see here. Arguably, some of the best talent in the country, and some overseas, always make it to that tournament, and hardly anyone is averaging over 4. So I have to remember I'm setting myself up for failure and fear still to this day. If you want to contend with the best dudes in the country, then yeah, hold yourself to that standard. Sure. But I've never been driven by that thought specifically. I'm just an overachiever and I deal with imposter syndrome. So lately I've only been concerned with averages for the sake of presenting myself with objective evidence of my ability and achievements compared to the best women in the country, in the hopes that one day I'll stop dismissing that as a reason to give myself a break and hopefully one day won't feel inadequate. For example, the top of the leaderboard for women during LVO singles cricket event is, of course, Dita Hedman, averaging 3.25 marks per round over 17 legs of cricket. Just behind her is none other than the amazing Paula Murphy. She averaged 3.19 over 29 legs of cricket. I see Rhiannon Sullivan on there with 3.05, also 17 legs under her belt. Eve Watson, 2.98 with 29 legs. Eve faced Andrea Taylor in the singles cricket finale. Andrea averaged 2.89 over 25 legs. In my measly 3 legs of cricket in this match, I averaged 2.6 marks per round. In my head, that's not enough, and I should be averaging over 3 or something. But the reality is, I should be proud that I can produce a 2.6 when deeply uncomfortable. And further, most women at one of the best tournaments in the country aren't averaging over 3 except for a handful of ladies. Of course, I don't want to give anyone a complex. The numbers don't mean anything to me other than just using them as a tool to give myself a break of this unrealistic expectation of excellence that I think I need to achieve due to trauma. In summary, all I can do is hope to frame competition in my mind as training and practice these 5 methods in real time over and over again. One mantra here and there isn't going to do it for people like us. If you're watching this far, you're like me. We don't need a slogan here and there. We need tangible solutions to working through our nerves, because you can't just pause, erase, or outthink overthinking, right? That's why I keep a physical legal pad next on my desk when I'm playing a match, so that I can force myself to just simply follow instructions to quiet my mind and work through the inevitable nerves. Step 1, breathe slowly. Step 2, what's my throwing process? Sink into heel, tip elevated, take back all the way, follow through strongly, and most important, no judgment of what happens. Step 3, what have I done in the past that was really cool? Big Fish checkout in Canada, 100 checkout to win women's doubles 501, Greater Vancouver Open. A lot of my accomplishments are in Canada for some reason, so I might just draw a little Canadian flag for step 3. Anyway, step 4, ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? Someone gonna kidnap my dog? No. The worst that can happen is I walk up and I score no marks, or I throw 3 in 501. Big deal, everybody's done it, nobody cares. Step 5, unleash the single ladies if you really need to. I would say pick your battles there. Whew, I hope these methods help put some things into perspective and hopefully loosen you up regarding the negative self-talk and fear of outcome. And I just want you to know that you are better than you think you are. It's gonna be okay. That's it for today's topic. I have 3 matches this week, so a lot more content coming your way. Boop the like button if you found these suggestions helpful, and subscribe if you haven't. I'll be talking a lot more about the mental side of darts. There's a ton over time. Wish me luck.